This is the Policy Council. My name is Okwemi Agbaje. On this program, we'll be discussing issues of policy, governance, and development in Nigeria, Africa, and the world. Our objective is to influence the debate around policy so that policy can work for our people. This week, we'll be discussing infrastructure and development in Lagos State. My guest will be His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, and key members of his cabinet. Enjoy the program. My guests are Mr. Ben Akabweze, Commissioner for Budget and Planning in Lagos, Mr. Bafemi Amzat, who is also a Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, and of course, the third Commissioner as well, Mrs. Olushola Oworu, for Commerce and Industry. You're all welcome. Mr. Akabweze, I'm told you have a Betty coming up again, your Lagos State Economic Summit, and you've chosen path, power, agriculture, transportation, and housing as your areas of focus. Why have you chosen those areas?
We have scheduled to host the 6th Lagos Economic Summit, also known as the Eimbechi 2012, between the 23rd and 25th of April. And the theme, the overarching theme this time around is from bricks to brinks, Lagos holds the key, where BRICS is the acronym which are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And we're saying Nigeria rightfully belongs to that group and can get into that group. And Lagos holds the key. But as Lagos holds the key, we're also saying 4 sectors in Lagos are extremely critical if we're going to make that, leap. And these are power, agriculture and agro-allied, transportation, housing and urban renewal, which gives rise to another acronym called PATH.
There seems to be some shifts we hear in terms of the thrust of your roads policy in Lagos State. I hear a focus more on inner city roads. What's driving that thinking?
Well, the essence for us is we must be able to move people and goods. And so we focus on the major arterial roads, and then we're now going towards the inner roads that will take you to your homes, to your businesses, and so on and so forth.
Happy but alarmed when I heard about that State Tenders Board meeting also in which you awarded all of those contracts. Do you have the project management capacity?
Yes, we do. Basically, you see, we have 3 layers. What happens is we have resident engineers for each project that we do. So for a road A, there will be a person that's an engineer in the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. But we also know that we are also limited. So in some cases, we have consultants that we also monitor. But one thing that we've also done that you'll be seeing very soon is what we call the Lagos at Work. So what that means is we will have a portal where all the resident engineers, the citizens, will load pictures, will load comment. So that even from my office or from anybody's office, you can actually see the state of the road. So you go in, we are working with Google, so you see the maps of Lagos, and then you see the roads that we are doing. You click on it, gives you all the information, the length, the size of drainage, the width, and everything. And then you click on it, and then it takes you, who is the resident engineer, who is the contractor, what length has been done, what's the specification. So we are using technology also to do monitoring, apart from the layer of monitoring that we already have in place.
Commerce and industry is Lagos State's, that's what defines Lagos. You had something called a corporate assembly recently. What was the philosophy behind that assembly?
Well, like you rightly said, Lagos is the economic and commercial nerve center of this country. And we felt that we must have a structured platform to engage with the business community. So that was one of the reasons why we had that interactive session, so that they can actually meet with the governor, have a better understanding of our programs and policies, and also give them a platform to share their own ideas and their views, and also bring to the fore anything that's agitating their minds on any of our policies.
Do you think that meeting was successful?
Oh, extremely. The feedback was excellent, especially the interactive sessions a number of comments came up on things that we were doing well and things that we could do better, especially, one of the key things that we need to look at again is the levies that are charged by the local government.
Okay, there's a particular project of yours that I'm very interested in, the Lekki Free Trade Zone. What's the status of that project?
The Lekki Free Zone is a multifaceted economic development in the southeastern part of Lagos State. We have 16,500 hectares of land there that we're trying to develop for industries, tourism, manufacturing, exports. The idea is that we should create a platform for manufacturing and exports to thrive. And we cannot develop this economy and achieve sustainable growth without going back to manufacturing and agro-allied. The level of unemployment is high, and we need to focus on manufacturing and
when will the free trade zone begin?
It's a 15-year development plan. Okay. We're working on the first phase as we speak, and we are working with the Chinese consortium on 3,500 hectares of land. As of today, we have about 23 kilometers of roads in there that we've opened up. We have working on our power plant. In the next 6 weeks, we're going to sign a contract with somebody to provide an independent power plant within the zone.
Let's talk about this massive Odile Road project and the accompanying rail. How are you going to see that project through? What's the status right now?
Well, we've awarded the road project. There are two sets of projects. Talk about this from Eric Moore to Okokomaiko. It's a 10-lane road, on 5 on both sides, with the median accommodating the rail. So we've awarded the first phase, which is from Eric Moore to Mazamaza. Okay. Mazamaza is first stack. So basically that is almost done, but you will realize that we are also building the station there. So because of the station, we have to slow down, finish the station, and then complete the road. So that's deliberate. It's part of our planning. We've also awarded the phase 2 now, which is from Mazamaza to Okomaiko. Okay. That's given to CCCC. The project has been awarded. They've mobilized the site. So they are moving, and then the rail.
What's your target completion for both the road and the rail?
Well, basically, we are hoping that we can finish by 2015.
Let's talk about financing. Lagos State seems to have done slightly better, or maybe significantly better, in terms of its recurrent and capital revenue ratio. But someone says your state is bankrupt, and it's someone who's supposed to know.
But the facts are that the state is in very sound financial health. The total projected borrowings for this year is what? 20%, just barely over 20% of the revenues for the current year.
Let's go to taxation, PPPs, some of these things that make some Lagosians unhappy with your government. Some say the taxation level is high, the charges are too much, and then the tolls that we have introduced. I know that was controversial, but what do you say to Lagosians on that?
The fact is, it's a choice, it's a lifestyle, choice that, Lagosians have to make. We have, in 2007, when we came up with our 10-year infrastructure investment program for Lagos, we came up with an estimate of $50 billion. That's what we require to fix the infrastructure of the state. When you look at the highest that our annual budget has been in any years, this year, $3.1 billion equivalent. Therefore, even if over 10 years we spend the entire budget on trying to fix the infrastructure, the roads and whatever and all of that, we couldn't do it. And we can't spend the entire budget therefore, public-private partnership is an imperative. We have no choice. It's either that we want the infrastructure in that time frame, or we want it, in
20 years time.
Not even 20, perhaps. A bit about, taxation. The fact remains that, with the exception of the, restaurant and, other related, overseas consumption tax that we introduced, this government hasn't introduced any new tax. All that done is ask,
enforcing
existing, and it's an attempt to redraw the social, not redraw, but enforce the social contract that exists between the citizens and government.
Yeah, I like the free trade zone, the big things. But what are you doing for informal sector, for some micro SMEs, small enterprises?
The informal sector, that is the backbone of this economy. As we speak today, we're working with some Nigerian economists and the Institute for Liberty and Democracy in Peru, that's owned by the renowned economist Hernando de Soto. They're going to come and do a diagnostic study of why people still prefer to stay in the informal sector. And whatever those constraints are, we're going to institute some reforms to be able to get these people into the formal sector because they're sitting on a lot of dead capital. And because of that, they cannot access funding. While that is going on, we're working today with the Bank of Industry to create a pool of funds so that SMEs can access that funding below 10% to also grow and promote their businesses. We're working with our artisans. We have training and capacity development programs for their businesses, keep their records, prepare a business plan so that they can also gain access to funding. We're also working with a group called the After School Development Company so that we can also train our unemployed graduates, teach them about entrepreneurship and open them to the opportunities in that area so that they also can go and set up small businesses and enterprises.
Thank you, gentlemen and lady, for coming on the Policy Council. Maybe we'll have you back someday.